Here we go. Everybody knows who we are. You are known now. Absolutely, it's an option. Here we go. Does yeah. Yeah. This was that's her. That's right. Nobody needs to stay online now. Just go away. It's all super beta now. Nothing. Is Ashmira still outside? You were okay. Yep. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear
Hello,
us?
can you hear us? No. Okay.
No. Okay.
It worked before.
Can you hear some of us?
Fuck.
Still no.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Oh, I got a message
Only
coming
Douglas.
back.
Talk
Only
amongst
Douglas.
yourselves. Nobody can hear you.
It's only you,
Only
Doug.
Douglas.
It's good.
I don't know.
I may never
Everybody's
stream.
look. You can hear.
I just
that
record these days.
It's on. Oh no, it's okay. It was only him fucking around. Thank you, Mr. Egypt. All right, there you go. Go.
Perfect.
It was only him. He could hear you, but no one else, and he was able to make that happen on his side.
That's
I
because
think that's how YouTube works. But
No,
look, I've been having
killed-
that conversation a bit recently. But
it's because
anyway,
he killed
whatever.
me this week. Killed a character of
Right.
mine. Nasty bastard.
In all fairness, I think that was the random dice rolling for a critical hit. But I take your point. Who can tell the difference? All right. I'm bringing this up because later on in this game, that might be a relevant defense for what happens to yourselves, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, it was the dice. It had nothing to do with me. I didn't create the scenario that you find yourselves in.
I mean, I could throw a hissy fit like a certain podcast host I know.
What?
Oh.
Which
Oh.
is he fit?
No.
No,
All right,
don't.
getting
no,
back.
No. We'll never mention the sniping ever again. It goes all the way back to that, doesn't it? All right. So, what do you want to do, guys? You're out on the some of you are on the hull. You've identified problemo. Thank you.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we'll go back inside.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Okay,
Yes,
so
I think you should come inside. And Iosop, you should be researching these blight cysts.
Oh, that's
because...
I was in the library.
No,
Yeah?
you did research them. That's why you know they're.
Oh,
Oh, that's why we know. Right. Do we know what to do with the blight
Logic 3
cyst?
successes. I can see it.
I can
literally
see
on
it
the
right
screen,
there.
right
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we know exactly what to do then.
Yeah. For all those people
Right.
who've been complaining about not getting enough successes on my dice, I say 3 successes.
That
3.
was my complaint. I'm sorry.
Whinge. And the
Whinge,
Spirit
whinge,
got 2
whinge.
on 4
You're not
dice.
even a pom, Douglas.
Jesus.
I know. Don't pay
Yeah,
attention
but
to the
Canadians.
effect chat.
If anybody should be whinging here, it should be me and Pete.
Fair.
Damn right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not one for moaning. I just get on with it.
Where does that put Sweden in this story? Like all in Anglosphere people are whingers. I think we can agree with that. So where does that put the Swedes in the
No.
story?
Not all of us.
Relaxed.
I think
Eating-
it's true.
Eating fish. Isn't that what
Australians are
you do
whingers.
all the time, Yun? Just eat fish and
Fermented
relax?
fish, yes.
Fermented fish. It's
And
not
relax.
Iceland. It's not Iceland. Iceland's fermented fish. Are you guys really fermenting your fish?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, I take it back. All right, everything is bad.
It's not a
In the north.
I
stereotype.
think Iceland has only fermented fish, while we have some other food too.
Berries.
Iceland has lamb and fish. I've been there. They're
that's
very
right,
nice
yeah.
lamb soup.
We really,
Okay.
we really are
Ain't
off
Iceland
topic.
that place where they sell cheap frozen food?
Speaking about the lamb blight,
All right, who is going? All right, so you come back into the ship. I'm going to regain control. You come back into the ship. You are you're not members of the primary crew. You've been given jobs to do while traveling. You've identified this problem. What, if anything, would you like to do about it?
What
It
was my
looks
job
like
again?
our ticket is way up, down in the priority. So I guess we'll have to fix this ourselves or wait a couple of weeks for them to fix it. So I don't know what you think. Should we try to find this cyst?
oh yeah,
But do we have any responsibility to find the cyst?
our
Yeah,
lives,
well,
our lives, and the
Probably.
lives of the crew.
yes, I think we always have responsibility to the ship if we want to
We
survive.
also probably have a responsibility to alert people to the fact that there is a blight infestation
Well,
Yes.
entity
uh,
on board.
we don't want to riot.
No. I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting we tell certain important people that, and they can choose to. They can help either help deal with it or deal with it themselves.
Okay. What are you going to do? I keep on asking the same question. You're talking around doing
Let's
things. You're not
find it.
doing things.
Let's find it.
All right.
Let's just deal with it.
All right. So you're gonna track it down.
I am sending a ticket to the maintenance central, but we will not wait for them to.
Okay.
Do
So
anything.
just for fun and giggles, what does the ticket say?
Possible light cyst invasion. We will search and for
I
it.
don't want to be telling you your job, but is there not an opportunity for us to potentially start charging for this extra service?
I think there is personally.
I will just say the answer to that question is no. And the second bit is
Well,
just-
that's me, Tom.
just for entertainment. When you go to submit the ticket, a little pop-up message appears in the green screen view that you have because you're using alien style technology where everything is old. And it's all kit bashed together, and it's got a listing of criticality. like priority of message. You've got very high, medium, low. No, doesn't go below low.
Sawed
you know.
off.
Yeah. Don't
Well-
bother submitting this ticket. I've
Go
always felt
directly
to
that is the one innovation I've been unable to get into a ticket system that is still in my dream, which is when I advise a client and I want the just don't bother, no one's going to get to it selection option. I think that would be super powerful. It would actually solve a lot of problems. At least people then would know that it was never going to be fixed. All right. So which option are you choosing?
I think medium or high, but because I think we should have more proof
High.
before we set
Well,
the
Okay, yeah,
absolute
there
highest
is an
level.
option to reopen the ticket and add additional information later.
Yeah, so we'll
Okay.
set it to medium right
Medium,
now.
yep,
So-
awesome.
and
Okay, you hit
Then
submit.
we'll
So
You get a little
Thomas,
automated message back that says, average response time on a medium ticket, 2 to 4 weeks.
okay. So with my successes in the library, what have I discovered in terms of urgency? How fast does this spread?
So far as blight infestations go, blight cysts are pretty benign. So they kind of they're basically, so there's this thing called blight barnacles, which are effectively little infestations of these insect-like things that accumulate on the outside of ships and sort of burrow into the ship. It's about the same level, so effectively it's more of a nuisance than a ship destroying threat, at least according to the information you have. So they travel through, and yes, they stuff around with your comms network, which isn't good. But as a general rule, they're not like some of the higher end blight infestations that can do real damage.
All right.
but
Well,
left unchecked, it could be problems.
Yeah, it's like if you let the barnacles grow over a period of time, eventually the ship will be impacted by the fact they're gobbling up certain parts of the material infrastructure.
do we care
Superstructure.
enough to deal
Right.
with this?
I think we
Um,
have to track it in the electrical system and see where it goes somehow.
Captain, what do you think?
How can we track it? Does it have a signature?
Mm.
Can you set your what do they call those devices? With multimeter.
Tricorders?
Can you set your multimeter to blight cyst?
I think we know where from it came, so we can just follow the
trail of damage.
and try to just follow the physical.
I like that idea.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So with absolutely no information, although it kind of feels right. So just to remind everyone, I'm imagining the great ship is like a Zeppelin, in that there's a sort of there's a crew quarter / hold component of the ship where people wander around and do things. Most of the ship is vacant space because, and I probably got this completely wrong, and I'm sure it's not what Free League intended, but I like the image. Because there's this big conversation in the rules about the fact the ships just need to be big to travel through the slipstream safely. That actually the primary thing is they're just not, the small ships just weren't big enough and robust enough to enter the slipstream. Now, it's far cheaper to just build a giant, shell than it is to try and fill it all in with things. And if you don't need to fill it in, why bother? And notably, if everyone's traveling around on these smaller ships, then it makes a lot of sense to just have an empty hull that you just put the ship in, and you surround it with this infrastructure which protects it from the slipstream, and then you go places. So So to be clear, this ship is like a couple of K long, and at least 500 to 500 odd meters deep, for want of better language, tall maybe. And your compartment, like the actual crew compartment component, is probably only 100 meters to 150 meters long. So you actually need to follow the electricals. You're going to have to go all around the inside of this giant cavernous hull,
Which has
because pretty much
no atmosphere.
which broadly would have no atmosphere, because there'd be no reason to fill it full of things that cost money and require additional maintenance. So that's right. It's vacant vacuum, literally. And your ships are sort of parked along the inside of that hull. They've come in through this giant thing, but they're sort of parked next to the crew quarters. So you can imagine there are these airlocks going into the actual inhabitable section of the ship. So it's quite a weird design, which is why I like it, because it's mentally it's quite funky. I will once again say that nothing Free League has released backs up anything I just described, but I like it, so I'm going with it.
Hey,
The-
you're the
lights
GM, you're
would-
God. So
So the lights would be around the core where where the various smaller ships are.
Yeah,
They wouldn't be on the outside, like
correct.
the inner outside. And
Yeah.
the other question is, do we have access to our delving gear and delving suits?
You definitively have access to your delving suits. You can just go into the shuttle, get the delving suit, put it
Okay.
on, completely fine.
So
I
are we
guess there's no such thing as some kind of scanners for lights.
You got your Raven. You've got your bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Actually, explicitly what the birds are good at.
great.
And
Do you
they're
want me to-
biomechanicals, so they don't necessarily need to breathe. As in, they can hold their breath for long periods of time.
Where's my bird?
It's in the group. It's in the crew description.
Have I got that? I've only got me.
Attila's Circus. Okay, let me configure ownership of that. Oh, everyone's an
there we go.
observer.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay, and there's the bird.
So you have your blight scan. You do actually have a scanner that you normally use for when you go into a delve, and the bird. The way it works is the bird actually you run the scanner and the bird taps on the screen to tell you where the blight is. It's quite like that's literally how it works. So you could so in answer to the do we have a multimeter for the blight? Kind of.
That's what it is. Right, gotcha. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Perfect.
Kind of.
So I need to roll insight to tell the bird what to do, right?
Correctamundo. And if you have the talent for I'm good at talking to birds, you get bonus dice. I don't think you do, because you didn't specialize as a person who's good at talking to birds.
No.
But that's a common story across the entire group. I mean, it's not limited to you. Everyone's an amateur.
We only decided at the end who was going to have the bird.
Correct. And you're the spiritual one, so it was obviously going to be you.
Okay, so just checking what my bird's abilities have. Oh, he has +0 in absolutely everything. Okay, so we're just rolling insight, right?
Yep.
And we help.
Are you saying things, Doug? Am I just not hearing you?
No, I muted myself to listen to the stream live to see if it was okay.
Okay.
So the bird has thumbs, so just something
It
to keep
does.
in
It has
mind.
opposable thumbs. It
Something to
can-
keep in mind if it needs to hold anything or grasp anything.
Yeah. Well, we got a success.
Great.
Okay. So Each success allows it to do sort of one level of depth.
Okay. We got a success.
So this is going to take a while. So the bird and you, like I said, you've got kilometers of
Wiring.
hull to cover. You're on the inside of a Dyson Sphere-esque kind of moment. So with one success, it's definitively going to take you at least a week to cover the entirety, because like you've got to put the suit on, you go out for an hour, you wander around a section, the bird comes with you, then you come back in. Like you're doing this, it's a very slow process. It's not I turn the machine on, ping, instant find of blight cyst. It's literally quarter by quarter segmenting of the ship's hull, and then going, I go to section 27, then I go to section 28, then I go to section 29, then I go to section 30.
I'll bring coffee and sandwiches to Jessina while she works.
It will be practice.
It is practice. You can feel the skills developing. This is how
Yeah.
this scanner thing works.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now,
I mean,
all
you've had one.
oh.
You've had one for at least 6 months, but you've never turned it on.
Okay. And can in fact the bird hold the scanner in one hand and then
It can, but I will remind you that the bird is curious.
Does
no,
the
he'll take the scanner apart.
Now,
Okay, right.
this
No,
is it heavier than a coconut? Because for some reason you said that this was a small friggin' bird, and I'm thinking that the
Yes, I
scanner.
didn't. I said it was a huge bird. It's a small person with a peacock on her shoulder.
Yeah, it's massive. The thing's like the size
Okay,
of a.
okay, so we can
I
hold
don't know,
something heavy.
It's smaller than a Canadian goose, which is currently featuring heavily in media. So I feel like that's a
Canadian
sort of
goose isn't
relevant.
that big. I mean, this
Well, it takes
wingspan.
on a
Yeah, but it can
bald
fight
eagle.
off an American eagle.
Exactly where I was going. Thank you very much. Anyway,
Sorry, sorry, Jed.
that's right. It's not you, Jed. It's your entire country.
It's your country. It's not you.
It's not you. All right.
God, he's got plate scan. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Doo-doo. So yes, if you leave the bird alone, it will pull the scanner.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And the Garuda device is actually how I control the bird. I'm remembering from the law.
Yeah, well, you communicate control.
Yeah.
Let's not over focus on the level of actual control you have on the bird, because that would make you sad. Okay, so that is happening. So Jessina is scurrying around the inside hull of the ship, trying to find this blight cyst. You've raised the medium ticket. That's been brought to the attention of the authorities and been added to the queue of repairs that the ship will require. I will point out, not to over focus, but you also do have a completely non-functional comms array.
Nothing to do with me. I'm searching for blight.
Yep. Jessina's out there searching for blight.
I will say, for the duration of this week, now that I know that I'm not hunting for traitors in the gang of the Sleeping White Angel.
Yes.
But I've found friends there, so I'm not going as often after shifts as I was before. But sometimes I still need to pray, and they're the closest I've got to a church. So I am going back there occasionally.
And remember, they're also, parking themselves in some disused part of the outer hull as an area of worship. Although they have quite illegally put atmosphere into that section.
Right. Yes, but there's a bridge. There's a non-atmospheric bridge.
Correct.
Isn't
But
there,
they are flooding it with atmosphere so that people can pray without,
obviously,
misting
without
up
choking.
them helmets. Exactly.
So maybe I'll go out and fix the comms array if someone wants to help. If I can, if it's possible.
Well, you'll need to scavenge the parts to repair the comms array, or you can wait the 2 to 4 weeks to formally be requisitioned the necessary parts to repair it. It's completely up to you which of these two you want to pursue.
I will scavenge for them, I think.
Okay, all right. Proper ship repair. So you're just gonna stick things together.
Duct tape.
Duct tape and baling wire.
Your rigging is my talent, so I'm just taking a different stuff and think this will probably work.
All right. So can I get so are you getting any help? Because the thing that other people could help you do is find the parts. So you might be the person out there on the thing, but actually finding the parts might prove somewhat more challenging. Or getting access to the parts in the stores. Both of these are options and might be more suited to other skill sets in the group.
Absolutely. Asmira is not the sweet talker, so maybe someone else can do that part.
Captain, how are you in that area?
What perception or
talking to people?
Talking to people. I know I've got renown. I can go with you.
Yeah, I'll be all right. All right.
All right. You and I can go, and we'll chat them up.
I'll give you a list of my parts I want or need.
All right. Wait, yeah, that sounds like a plan to me.
Ashmira, how exactly would we be able to fake a reason why we need these parts for other than fixing the ship if they don't buy into the fixing the ship stuff? Is there another reason why we would be asking for these things?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, we'll just go with that.
Just try to bribe
Fix our own ship, maybe?
Yeah. I don't think that will fly.
We're building a robot.
Looting the general stores for our own ships. Then we'll have to pay them anyway, so.
Yeah, okay. Let's try it.
Okay, so you guys are communicating with the store master on the ship. They basically never leave the stores. They're quite famous for it. They have no interaction with the rest of the ship. They're not fans. You've got this long list of parts because the damage to the comms array was reasonably extensive. And you can imagine the scene, right? So it's kind of the classic sort of scene of there's a grill, there's a desk.
Little hole to pass.
Yep, little hole. Yep, you've got it in one. And, they're this sort of beady-eyed, much older person who's probably not left the stores in 5 years, gets their food delivered, because they know people come to steal the stores for their own ships. But people do that all the time.
Okay, so the first thing, I guess the first question is, Attila,
yes.
How do you want to approach this? Do you want me to start, or do you want to start? Do you want me to support you, or you to support me?
Also, you have documentations and pictures of the damage, you also have the tickets you can show it for 4 weeks.
We could absolutely do that.
So you've got a printout of the ticket in one hand, a grainy picture of the damage in the other, and a list of required supplies.
I think.
Well, I don't think.
I think Attila should
my demeanor. You think I should take it?
I think you have a more persuasive personality, and I can support you with documentation and.
I mean, if that's what you think, Yosop.
Oh, absolutely. You are the captain.
You could offer him some dust, and then when he's occupied with that, then you can just take what you want.
I'm not just gonna give him my dust. That's to sell.
I would say that obviously giving him stuff, he'll immediately be suspicious that you're trying to knock
Yes.
him out.
Yeah.
Selling him dust, on the other hand, all you're doing is a business transaction.
Yeah.
No, I'm going back to the hole. See ya.
Can we communicate? Can we communicate with each other? Like, do we have internal
not
comms?
between the inner and outer hull, no. There's like a whole
Okay.
steel bulkhead
All right.
between you
Okay.
and...
All right.
So
I
in the
guess we
equivalent,
could.
you are literally inside a Faraday cage. Like the whole one of the
Okay.
major points of the ship is to shield from external radiation and signals. So no,
Okay.
the inner and outer hull are explicitly blocked.
Okay.
We could have a discussion before you went away
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this, but
Yeah.
maybe not during.
Okay.
All right, so you've rocked up at the stores just to move it along.
Hello, friend. Hello,
Oi.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
we need some bits to fix the old comms array out there. Two
I don't
to
know
4
anything
weeks.
about that.
Oh well, we have raised the ticket. Just the length of time on that ticket doesn't sound too great. We want to get it up and running straight away. I've got the copy of the ticket here. I've got a picture of the damage, and I've got a list of parts. What can you do for me, my friend?
Give me a look. Let me look at that ticket.
All right, and I'll hand him the ticket.
All right, here's a quick lead. Medium priority. I don't need to deal with this for weeks. Just the ticket back to you.
Yeah, but if we're volunteering to deal with it, you don't have to deal with it. So if anything, we're taking things off your plate.
Yeah. No, I'm not dealing with it. That'll be the repair crew's job. I just
Yeah,
issue
no,
the stores.
I get that, mate. I get that. Right. But it saves you doing it later, and it gets a job out of the way. You'll be less busy later down the line.
No, you're just no. Where's the evidence that this is
I'll
actually
show
a
him the
problem?
picture. I'll show him the picture.
And I'll
Thanks for
start-
looking at guys.
And I'll start.
This isn't the first time people have tried to, give me a fake
Look,
image
I
to persuade them they need parts.
I completely understand, my friend. I completely understand. But I need a drink.
Okay, and so I say to him, as Attila reaches for the flask, I'm like, listen, you little man. Now, I'm gonna tell you that and then I list off this whole big kind of epic tale of mechanisms and stuff like that, which are totally bogus. Like, I'm just using the most poetic, intimidating language about little pharadones and inyodones and ratchets and stuff like that, and I'm just waving my finger and saying, now you don't want to be the person responsible for the entire ship's destruction, do you now?
Okay.
Yeah, what he
I
said.
assume this is intended to be backed up with a dice roll.
It is indeed. And I'm using my renown. I'm using my presence.
Okay, all right. I, as a
You're all
well-known
there,
author, am
is
telling
anybody
you
able
the
to
ship
help
could
with
blow
this
up.
argument?
Sorry, what's that, Justina?
Given you're all there, is anybody able to help with this?
They were
yeah.
going to be helping each other. There was a plan for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going, yeah, what he said.
Matt, your mic's wonky.
All right. Now, just to check, Attila, are you offering to take the hope cost of any pushes, or are you just helping?
I will. I can take some of the hope cost. That's fine.
No, I think you take it all or none.
All or none. Yeah, sorry, I'll take it.
That's good because I've already got 2 hope that's gone.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So the way this works is it costs you 1 hope no matter what to do it, and then you pay the price on top of that of any pushes that he also makes.
Okay, so I don't pay anything yet.
No, only if they fail.
All right.
Okay.
Or only if they roll
Don't fail.
ones.
I am rolling empathy. I would
Sounds
Yep.
pretty right to me.
All right.
Yep.
I'm using my renown.
Can I
Sure.
give him a
Yeah, so
bonus
your
with my
help is
charmer?
I'm going to allow your help to add a dice to the roll.
Yep. Okay.
So I've got charmer level 2. Would that add the 2 dice instead of the 1?
No, just
No.
one.
Nope.
Boo.
Are
Oh,
you
dear.
going to push that dice roll?
I'm a bastard.
We probably have to.
I'm a bastard and
mean-
an ass and arrogant. Of course I am. I see that
Of
I'm
course
not.
you are.
Of course.
I've
Sorry.
taken the hope.
So sorry.
Okay, you take 3 hope.
How?
And make sure that, I don't know if that's automatically applying to your sheet, but you
It-
should have
it
no
did.
hope loss.
I got my
fixed it?
2. My 2 are
All
gone.
right, so beautiful game rule, peoples. Thank you very much for exploring it. So you're both desperately trying to convince this guy and you've gone on this whole journey of narrative construction, and he's just going, that sounds made up. Because it is. And effectively, he goes, sorry, shop closed, and presses the button. Clang comes down the big
All right, then.
metal thing, and you guys are just looking at this solid bit of metal that's now blocking the way to the stores.
Well, there's always plan B.
And that
Was there a plan B?
Was there a plan B? You're the captain.
I don't recall there being a plan B, but
No, I recall Shmira said to us both, Attila, there is nothing else that there's nothing else that we can say. Do you want to try
What
to
we
break
could
into
do
this
is-
place?
What we could do is to see if we can find a real acquisition voucher and maybe try to forge one. If you can see how the signature looks.
Someone else is going to have to go. I'm
All right,
gonna.
So what I'm gonna do is move it forward in a time block. So
Okay.
so let's assume you guys are on the journey of trying to find a real requisition strip, and you're going to try and forge something, because I kind of love the idea that you're all scurrying around the ship trying to find a real requisition order from the captain of the ship, because they're the only person who could possibly sign such an order. And then you're going to get someone to try, and then there's a lot of late nights as people are trying to copy the signature exactly.
I've got sleight of hand, so I can do that.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. So this goes on for a little while.
I'm thinking I'm in with crew, actual crew,
You are.
our fellow worshippers and conspirators. I'm just wondering whether I could persuade one of them to give me access to one of those strips.
You
one of my prayer
could.
meetings.
I mean, you're a co-religionist. I mean, they and you.
We have
like
an
this.
understanding, don't we?
Actually, I'm genuinely interested. Does Jacina see, like, because these are congregants, I think is the right language. These are congregants. But none of them are actually formally part of any hierarchy, right? This is very much like a sort of
Just
a Quaker kind of church where everyone sort of comes together, sits around, talks through, but there's no leader in that sense of the word. Now, does Jacina see that as a vacuum that could be filled by Jacina? Is my genuine question.
So I was thinking about this. Because Matthew knows about the nature of the sleeping icon,
Yes.
I think Jacina has to be a little bit skeptical. After all, Jacina is a true Coriolite, and she is fully aware of the false icons that appeared around the whole thing 300 years ago. And she knows that was all a Santalan plot. So she's not particularly fooled by anybody else that even though this icon has not claimed to be an icon. I feel I'm more of the true good guys in the Coriolis world, and that is to say, I'm a
You're a Draconite.
No, not a Draconite.
They're the true good guys.
They had nothing to do. No, the
Just putting it out there.
Starfleet of the world.
Oh my god, no. Okay, all right. We're back to Starfleet. Okay, all right. Got it.
So they were always skeptical when the judge first appeared and claimed to be the judge.
They went all in on how skeptical they were, to the point of blockading systems and threatening to go to war.
Yeah.
So I
Because
feel
that's
I'm
what
probably-
good guys do. They go.
That is what good guys do.
We
Exactly.
should burn that planet.
Look at Donald Trump. How can anybody not accuse him of being
Yeah,
a good
yeah.
guy?
Remember, in old Coriolis, there is an entire system that was leveled by this group.
Cortana
was
you're
lit-
talking about.
Cortana was
They were
literally-
heretics.
That's exactly right. They were heretics.
They were heretics.
All right. So you're a
So I may-
heretics aren't people.
I may be toying with leading these guys down the true path, but first
But
things
now
first.
it's like a Catholic who's only found one church in the whole town, and it's a Protestant
Yeah.
church, but it's kind of Lutheran, so it's kind of okay.
Yeah.
It's-
They were
you know,
the icons,
you don't
they're
wanna-
Coriolis.
you know, most of the
You know, there's a fingers
practices are
crossed
similar.
behind the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, if I close my eyes and don't think too hard, it feels kind of like I'm in a Catholic church. All right, okay.
It's
Or high
Church of
Anglican or
England.
high
I think
Episcopalian. Is high Episcopalian a thing? I mean, high
Yeah, oh
Anglican
my
thing.
gosh, the high Episcopalians are higher than the
Yeah.
Catholics. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That tracks. That's exactly my experience of high Anglicans. All right, perfect. Okay, so you are not seeking to become a leader. Okay, but you are going to try and persuade them as a co-religionist. Could you help a buddy out?
yeah, exactly. And their crew. You know, all the rest of us are outsiders, but I'm in.
All
with
right,
this,
can I
this
get
group.
another empathy roll, please? Maybe I think with bonus die. I think that seems legit.
Okay, so empathy is my least good score.
It's inevitable.
That. And a single bonus die,
I think 2.
2 bonus die.
Yep.
But I'm also an actor.
Which gives you a bonus die. And no.
Me.
Oh, give us something, game. Jesus.
I just want to go
Did you
back.
want to push that?
I want to go back to the Discord discussion now.
Oh, don't you start. That's just whinging. All right. Okay. All right. So
No, tell you what, I'm all hoped up. I'm gonna go with it.
Okay, you're gonna push it.
2 successes.
Oh, look
There we
at that.
go.
Yeah.
Two
Epic.
lost.
Epic. There we go.
All right.
Get in there.
All right. So it takes a couple of days to triangulate. And don't forget, you're already busy. So this takes away from your time of scouting the ship because you have to reintegrate into the more common practice of faith. Because, you know, you did say you were going to drop off while you explore the inner hull of the ship.
I did say I was going to go back for occasional prayer.
But you need
Yes,
to up
but
your
I need to get
ante.
closer, yeah.
You need to up your ante on this one. All right. So all of this is going on. Takes about a week, and you have the paper. You have the requisition form. They have gone and gotten one for you. It's week 3 now of the trip, and you guys are now, as I said earlier, there's a desk in your shuttle, which is where you stay. And you've got the actual requisition form, and you've acquired a printed empty version, and you're busy trying to copy the signature across and practice that. Attila, can you make a sleight of hand roll to see how well you do at copying? Unless Asmira, do you have any skills that might help here? No.
No.
As
Okay, I think
an
we've
artist, as
Oh,
an
actually, good
artist,
point. and a specifically someone related to the printing industry.
yes. Can I
Good
assist?
point. You absolutely can. So you get a
but
bonus
what,
die, Attila.
But beforehand,
With what skill? Agility?
Yes, because
yes.
you've got the signature,
Okay.
so you're just literally trying to copy the pressing down of the pen at the right points,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
So
And then a bonus die.
before the fact, I have read my collection of poems and given myself back a little bit of hope.
Okay, good.
So who's rolling? Me?
No,
right.
Attila's rolling. I
Okay,
think we've
I'm supporting you, so you can time to give back.
No.
Oh, come on, game.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
Okay,
it,
get
it's
this
in
signature
beta.
right.
It's in beta.
I can't
You
get
can
this
push that
signature right.
roll. You've only got one. Look at me.
You gotta
I
push.
Yeah,
You gotta
so
push
lots
it.
of
You
push
gotta
it.
push it.
He took 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a success there.
Yeah.
I'll
It
take the
takes you a
hope.
good solid week.
I've got
and
3 hope left, but I'll take it.
Do I
and-
take off a hope?
No, because you were only supported. No, it's
okay. All right.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So it's week 3. It's reaching the end of week 3. You spent the entire week just trying to get this requisition form. Am I the only one who feels a paranoia kind of vibe to this whole scene? Anyway, just putting it out there.
We don't have any clones.
We don't have any clones, but we do have ridiculous bureaucracy, and factions, and
Also Brazil, I was thinking, what with all these
Yeah,
pipes
yes,
incoming.
exactly.
Nice. Okay. All right. It's the end of the week. You've got the requisition form. However, does anyone remember what jobs you guys had? Because I don't remember really.
I was
Did
mopping.
anyone have?
I
you were
remember
the
being on
repair
the
team.
inside.
You were
Yeah,
the
we're the
internal
repair team.
repair crew. That's
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Okay, so this all
Internal
happens
repairs.
sort of vaguely peripheral to you. Or at least it starts vaguely peripheral to you. Okay, there's a rumor going around the ship that people are stealing resources.
Well, that's the Coriolites. Sounds like them.
Which of course is a big no-no on these ships because, you travel through the Great Dark, you've got barely enough supplies to make it to the end kind of thing. It's a very resource restricted sort of story where people are mining ice from asteroids to get water, and oxygen, because there are very few planets that actually have life-bearing atmospheres, and the ones that do are full of the blight. So everything is on tenterhooks, right? Like supply is missing all the time. And at the end of the 3rd week, you guys hear rumors traveling around that someone or someones are stealing resources.
I know
It's
nothing
obviously
about
not us
that.
because we've got a legitimate requisition form.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
not us at all. Yeah, it's
Nothing's-
legitimate, completely legitimate.
Hold
you
on,
know.
though. Is it the air? Does air count as a resource?
Absolutely. You
Hmm.
gotta,
Yes.
remember, you take water, you split it, you get oxygen, you pump a bunch of other things into it so humans can breathe it properly. It is 1,000,000% a resource. Arguably the most vital, just to make that point. You are in space.
Yeah.
No, we've lost you again, Matt. I don't know what's going on with
Matt,
your mic.
your mic has been really low. No, we can't hear you. But your mic has also been really, really low.
While
Can you
Matt's
hear me now?
fixing that,
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're
Yes.
I
back to
don't know why it
normal.
keeps on dropping in and out.
Yeah.
what are the ways of regaining hope?
So, I was going to say just briefly while I'm going to work, somebody might want to dob in the Coriolites.
Not me, of course.
No, not you. No, but somebody else, and obviously not me because they're my friends. But I have heard it said that they're handing out requisition slips like nobody's business. But obviously, I'm going to be working on trying to track down this blight thing with the bird. So I'll leave you up to it.
All right, so you're telling us that they're stealing air and stuff.
Yeah, and because you're the internal repair crew, you are tasked with finding the source of the theft.
Okay, well,
You've gone silent
Gone
again,
again.
Matt. It's
Okay.
gone again.
It's gone again. That's not a good sign for
Remember, I'm somewhere else.
Yes.
You are.
Can you
You're
hear
on
me?
the inner hull.
Yeah, we can.
We
Yeah.
can
Yes,
hear-
I'm.
yeah.
You
You're
and the
somewhere
bird.
else. Okay.
I've just got this image of you and the bird wandering around the inner hull of the ship, like, because it's this giant cavernous metal shell, right? And there's just this little bit of light shining from your helmet and the screen as you and the bird are sort of trekking around the inside, and it's like everything else is dark. Like you're just alone in the darkness, walking, across this great cavernous space. Okay, so go. Sorry. All right. No, you turned
Gone
yourself
again.
off this time. You turned yourself off.
I was just imagining the light of my Garuda device shining up onto the faceplate of my helmet as I go around with a bird on my shoulder. I'm looking for my favourite picture of a bird, but I can't find it at the moment. Give me a moment.
Shall do.
Going away.
All right, so you guys are tasked with finding the source. Now, you probably already know the source because Jacina's told you about it. So this could be easily solved.
Yeah, I saw it. Asmira is very diligent. She has worked all week repairing, doing maintenance,
Yep.
and she finds the source. Someone has coupled or maybe bypassed some thing. So she just shut it off and reports it.
Mm.
It just shuts it off.
It's off the oxygen at the
It's
pass.
not even, you don't tell anyone. So just so I'm clear, Asmira just goes, oh, this is the pipe that feeds oxygen to that part of the ship. I'll just turn that off.
Well, I guess
I'll
they
close
will
the valve.
notice it. They will notice it, I hope.
Yep, they will
Not
notice
just
it. Yep,
suffocate.
that's true. Yep, they will notice.
Oh, and they should always have their oxygen tanks.
And you've gone silent. Matt, I really don't know what's going on with
Matt,
your device. It's kind of weird.
Page 83.
Page
That's
83.
me on the hull.
Woohoo.
That's you on the hull.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
with a bird.
All right, so Asmira, make a jury rig roll as you shut off the supply of oxygen to the part of the ship that it shouldn't be going to.
Can I use my heavy tools?
Absolutely. This is definitively a big wrench and a valve.
Great. So your rig and tools. And is it strength, agility? What is it,
Strength
logic?
usually. But I'm happy with agility. I don't mind too much.
If it's strength, I can offer a die of help.
Yep, do that. Because my strength isn't the best.
Yeah, I'll offer a die of help then with
Okay.
strength.
Yeah. Because you're literally closing it off. Yep, easy. No problems at all. So you basically shut off the valve completely. All right, valve is shut off. Do you tell anyone who you think has been stealing it, or do you just shut
No.
it down?
I shut it up and I report it to the authorities, so to speak. But I'm no suspicions, just that I found the source of the stealing.
Right. So you don't
place.
point the finger directly at anyone. You just say,
No.
I found this, I've shut it off, it'll stop.
The rest is the guard's job.
Okay. Later on, so the ship is now, there's a lot of accusations floating around about people stealing supplies. And of course, a lot of the crew are looking at all of the people who've gotten onto the ship on their little shuttles who aren't members of the crew proper as potential sources for this theft. And so you notice that, you know, the table has shrunk, as it were, in the God, what's the term I'm thinking of? Not cafeteria, but similar. Anyway, cafeteria will do.
Mess hall.
Thank you. That'll do. In the mess hall. And so the crew are sort of clumped over here, and various other people are clumped over there. And then within those groups are smaller groups, obviously, as each of the shuttle crews is a bit sort of not trusting other shuttle crews anyway. And there's a genuine tenor of distrust through the whole ship. Okay.
Okay.
All right. At the end of week, sort of heading into week 4 now, the ship is actually passing around Sephorion, which is a large star system not on the Slipstream. So if you go to Sephorion, you can't get out again. You have to travel in real space for quite a period of time. So people don't do that. However, Sephorion has gravitational impacts on the Slipstream. So effectively, you're heading into an area of heavy eddies and cross currents as the Slipstream itself is pulled sideways and then sort of broken up. Now, you kind of know that, and you're told that by the crew, by the captain, to lock everything down, make sure everything is ready. As you hit that zone of disruption, Jacina, you're getting closer to the Blightsys now. You've spent a good solid week just sort of traipsing across the ship hull, and you've actually located some damaged conduits that indicate you're on the right path. So it's taken you the whole week to find the conduits, but you've now found a series of conduits that bear the damage that you've identified right at the beginning to the ship. However, the ship itself is now much more dangerous terrain, and you are not an experienced exosuit operator or used to working in vacuum. This is not your core skill set. So my question for you is, as the ship enters this very heavy area of cross currents and other things, and when you first entered the Slipstream, you also experienced the sort of shakiness of that insertion into the Desseram channel, as it's called there. Do you want to continue to track across the outer hull, following these conduits now, or do you want to stay inside the protective bubble of the inner hull for the duration of the transition through this quite heavy area of turbulence?
I've been doing this for a couple of weeks now, and I'm getting close.
You are.
So I think I'm going to risk it, but I would like to play my Joker.
I see. Play the Joker. I didn't know you had one, but I respect it.
Once per session, I may ask the GM to give me vague but useful guidance.
I like it.
So what I'm looking
I respect
for,
the vague. That makes me happy.
what I feel the icons are guiding me towards are channels in the outer hull that are relatively cut into the hull itself. So I'm not like right on the top of it getting swept off by the currents. There's plenty of handholds and stuff like that. And yet they may lead me not quite in the right direction, but they're a safer route in the direction I want to travel.
Okay. So you're on the inner side of the outer hull. You've been traipsing around the inner curve. So you don't have a lot of experience of traveling the Slipstream. As previously identified, most of you have this is literally your first trip. What you do think is you by yourself could get badly injured and you'd have no one to help you. Like,
Right.
remember, communication isn't working between the inner and outer hull, so people can't hear you.
Nope.
You're effectively just wandering out into the darkness by yourself with the bird. Bird's good. Bird's happy to chat. But you're the one that talks to the bird, which makes that a little bit more tricky. And you have the Garuda device that the bird actually uses to communicate. So, you know, this Timmy down the well scene that you might have been imagining at some point would be tricky with both of those things being true. Because you're the one down the well. So the bird would be tapping on people's headlights and they'd be going, what's going on? And the bird would just be tapping. So it might be wise to get at least one person who had, I don't know, some actual, exposure / skill.
If I feel I'm getting close to actually finding the source of this, why doesn't everybody come with me for this trip, offering a bit of safety? Hey, boys and girls.
I'm mopping.
Attila? But I think it's time you experience some of this as well. It's a learning experience, and not everything can be learned from books. Believe me.
As I read my book and mop lazily behind me, as I just kind of forget what the hell I'm doing.
I can.
Yes, I'm sure.
The outer hull needs mopping just as much. It hasn't been mopped in ages, Isyop. You could give it a really nice shine.
I care.
And
what
Attila's
does
the
everyone?
captain anyway.
Attila, what do you want to do? I just turned to the captain.
Attila, I just noticed you've changed your E for an A. Are you now Attila?
No.
On your name on
your name is
on
Attila, not
as
Attila.
to Attila.
Have I?
On your Zoom.
Yeah, I have.
Oops.
All right.
Well, don't worry about it. Never mind the grammar and spelling.
All right. So you are now exploring So is everyone going with Justina to track it down?
Absolutely.
Simple question.
Yeah.
All right.
Getting really close.
All right.
One needs to experience some things to learn them.
True. Okay. I agree completely.
What would be the point of delving if we didn't delve?
Can I get the ship hits heavy turbulence? You're all on the inner hull. Like I warned you, I feel very strongly that I was specific in my message.
No, you were.
Yep.
Can I get everyone, please, to make a strength roll? And if you have skills in exo suit or 0G or any of those sorts of things, you can apply that as a bonus. Ashmira. As the only person I'm pretty sure who ticks any of those boxes.
Strength, not agility.
Strength, not actually.
Fuck you.
Actually, no, I'll allow agility, actually. No, I'll allow agility because this is less about things flying at you or securing things and you sort of making your way around.
No, strength is way better for me.
Missiopio for the win. Fucking shit.
Okay, wow. Yeah, Attila, it clearly
with
is.
an E.
Jesus, hell.
How many dice? Wow.
It's wow.
You got experience.
More successes, you can help us all get through there.
Yeah, do you want to push that roll? Okay.
I've done quite well.
Okay, you're really the only person
Ashmira roll.
Ashmira.
Do I regain hope for such a good roll?
I really need to get the rules. Give me 1 sec.
Yes. 3 successes, you get a point of faith, but I don't know whether you get any hope.
That's a good rule. I like that rule.
Oh.
Yeah, where were they when we needed them earlier, honestly?
Yeah, I'm happy for you to regain hope.
Lovely. I've only got
one
3.
hope or all hope?
I think one hope.
One hope, I think, yeah.
One hope, yeah.
Let me, I just found the instructions.
for regaining hope? Like, I don't want you to get to the.
You
I don't want-
automatically recover 1 point of hope after 1 shift.
Oh,
So actually-
okay. So
Oh,
yeah,
well, we
you've got
sh-
all your hope back. It's
we all
fine.
have our hope back.
Wait,
Also, you could be taking drugs. Apparently, that helps too.
Yeah.
I could be, but I'm not.
Don't do drugs,
Don't get
kids.
high on your own supply.
Don't get high on your own supply. All right. So you guys are so we'll assume you've got full hope, so you can push merrily at the cost of hope.
Excellent.
Now you all see Ashmira. There's a particularly violent sort of adjustment of the ship, and Ashmira's boots, which have been holding onto the hull, are displaced, and Ashmira is sort of hurled up into the air. There's not. Now, the risk in the ship is there is a form effectively of artificial gravity in the ship. If you become displaced from the inner hull and the outer hull, you do have the risk of suddenly finding yourself being pulled towards the inner hull at a reasonable rate of knots, i.e., 1 gravity's worth of acceleration. Actually reasonably dangerous.
I'm sure Asmira knows what she's doing. She's got the 0 G ops skill, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's just showing off.
They do. They don't look like they're in complete control of this experience, however. Now,
listen
Attila,
on the
you
comms
did
channel.
get 4 successes, so I'm going to give you definitively first action.
Okay. What can I do to help? Is Asmira still in arm's reach?
They're within reasonable reach. I'm assuming you've all got cabling and other things that you're traveling around with. Like, you've got standard equipment, which includes cabling. So you could throw something out to Ashmira as they start to float. You could tether yourself and launch yourself at Ashmira to pull them in. Ashmira might be able to sort of, navigate back, but I'm not assuming that you've bought your sort of, your little thruster units that you would use to get around the outside of the ship.
Probably have my basic climbing kit, maybe.
Yeah, I'll give you that. So you've also got effectively cabling and other things that you can use to sort of, and maybe even some carabiners and other components that you could use to sort of create something to throw back for people to grab.
Yeah,
That's definitively a thing.
swearing loudly and try to.
So you're sort of
throw-
spinning around a little bit and slowly being pulled towards the inner hull. At this point, the gravity hasn't grabbed you, for want of better language, but you're definitively heading in that direction.
So I want to basically throw something up so that Asmira can grab it and we can just sort of pull Asmira down.
Yeah, so it's cabling. That's fine. Okay, so I am actually going to make that a strength roll. I think that's completely legit. So you're just going to throw
Works
something
for
reasonably
me.
heavy.
Have I got anyone that can assist me? I have 6 dice, but I would like some more assist.
What are you
I would
rolling
like
on?
some help.
Strength. I got 3.
Not really my thing, but
Any help?
Remember,
Any help is
assistance
enough.
is just assistance. So
Yeah, I'll help.
all right.
we can
So-
all help you.
Yeah.
Apart
2
from
dice of
Asmira,
help, yeah?
who's spiraling,
Spiraling away.
All right.
All right.
cartwheeling
8
away.
dice it is.
Make a roll, please. Oh,
Oh, yes.
That'll do.
Oh, yes.
1 success from each of us,
Oh,
I think, my
yes.
friend.
Hits Asmira so hard, so she just gets pushed away. Oh! I tried to grab that thing.
oh, thank God. I literally couldn't see the help rule when I was reading. I was thinking, have I been doing this wrong? But no, it's there. It's just halfway through the list of things you can do to help people if make their dice roll. Anyway, and it's the usual 1 dice per person rule. As long as it makes sense. All right.
Yep.
So easy, done. Eshmira, a cable is hurled out towards you with a wrench to give it a bit of mass. You can grab the cable and you're pulled, sort of back onto the hull. All right. So
Guys.
you've experienced this turbulence. You're following along this track of damage, and you get to this zone, for want of better language, and there's this dull red electricity, for want of better language, like arcing sort of color, running through a bunch of conduits. It's illuminating the darkness, so it's this dull red glow with these momentary flashes of brightness. So, and they're sort of pulsating, like a person's heart pushing blood through your circulatory system. So they're sort of these brighter lights are sort of pulsating on this very regular cadence. But the whole area is illuminated with this dull red glow that's coming out of the conduits.
Does this look?
Sorry.
I didn't mean to interrupt if you were on a roll,
No.
but is this? Can I identify this as blight from what I've read?
You've actually seen blight. You've been to the big Red Valley place where there's blight everywhere. It's not a form of blight you're used to, but the color is definitively the right color.
Okay.
Blight usually gives off a red color, and often takes the form of plant life, but it's not limited to that. It doesn't have to be plant life.
It can also be crystals, can't it?
It can, yeah. Blight crystal, yep. It's like a red frost.
Okay.
Is how the crystal form looks. All right. Mike.
Let's kill it.
Where's my little guy?
So now, Truick can clear blight, but only for a limited length of time. Is there anything that we can actually do to take it out permanently?
You have to destroy the source of the blight. So this isn't like a ruin where the blight is kind of generalized, for want of better language. Like it's it's infested the ruin for centuries, and therefore you'd have to go and dig out every bit of it. So no one does. It's not actually what happens. People suppress the blight, go in, steal shit, get out. In this case, you need to you will definitively need to burn the blight away or remove the blight permanently. You can suppress the blight so that you yourselves are not affected by the blight while you're here. That's something you can get to do. But finalizing or removing the blight will require you to actually find the cyst and destroy it.
Right, so step one surely then is clear the blight.
Sure.
Well,
Make an
let's
insight
do
roll.
that.
So that we can get closer to the source and find out what it is. Okay, so insight.
Insight.
My bird has no level in that ability at all.
Clears all blight from the zone it costs 1 energy to do. So your bird has 3 energies. So just to remind, you are using one of its energies.
Right. And I am rolling insight.
You are. Do
May
you get a
I
bonus for the Garuda device? Does it give you a bonus?
Oh, I don't know, but I'd like to know that.
I'm sure you would.
It should do.
And I wanted to know if I could have helped.
Let me have a look at the Garuda device. No bonus. Right. Okay. No.
Right. Okay. I'm quite hopeful, so I can.
And yes, you can try and assist, but you need to explain how you're going to assist in this case, because this is pretty much them trying to get the bird to do something.
I'm gonna explain the nature of the blight and where the bird should be focusing its attack or its focus?
Okay. All right. That makes complete sense to me. Go for it. Add the bonus die, so you get a
so
bonus
what
die.
I'm going to do is I'm going to push this roll and roll another single dice.
Fair enough.
Oh, fuck.
Lost to hope. Okay. So you have a choice.
Hold
You
on.
can...
Hold on. Let me just roll the other dice.
Oh, yeah, you might get a success for it. Nope.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Bird doesn't want to do it.
all right. So you can all make.
It's
So if you want to continue in here, you
independent.
have to make your suit checks to resist the blight, please.
Okay.
How do we do that?
So your equipment,
Yeah.
includes your.
Oh, yes.
And hopefully.
So roll protection, right?
Yeah.
Against
so roll
and it's
protection.
blight.
Correct. And it's blight 1, so. Okay. 1 blight reduced.
How do I roll protection?
On the light delving suit itself, I'm pretty sure. Is that right?
Yeah, you go
Yep.
into gear
Yeah, so you go onto
and then
the
go into
armor.
armor.
And if you hover over your light delving suit, a little dice icon will appear. And if you click on that, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it asks you if you're doing damage or blight.
Oh, that button there. Roll protection. Hold on. I don't understand it. Against blight.
Against blight, yep. Nope.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so all of you, barring Eosop, get 1, reduce your heart by 1, please, as you are exposed to the blight.
That's what learning does.
What learning does, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. Book smarts. Keeps you healthy.
Okay. Right in. Okay, so you've pushed
That's what
through.
medium armor does, mate.
I feel like
well, I'm a
Eosop
smart
goes,
person for
"It's-
buying medium armor.
Yeah, so nothing happens until you.
Next
are
time
broken
you're
by the
moving in
blight.
your medium armor, you'll think you're less smart. But
That's true.
can I try with the bird again?
Sure. While you do that though, so you're sort of in the blight zone, trying to get the bird to do something.
Am I getting help from you, Aesop?
You may.
I get
Yay.
1 success.
All right. So as you do that, you feel. I'm gonna just. So for those playing at home, Coriolis the Great Dark uses my favorite, to be fair, invented by, or at least partially invented by Dave and Matt, the random dice rolling of attacks by the monster mechanic.
Oh, good.
No, I think it wasn't invented by us. It was
It was in what's its name, Forbidden Lands, but you did
Forbidden Lands.
It did get ported
We applied
across
it to
Alien,
Alien.
which was a genius move because it's fun when the GM gets to just randomly decide what happens next.
Also
And in answer
Dragon
to your
Game.
question, while you're standing there, there's as the bird has tried to it's opened its wings, so it's unfurled, and this bright blue light has come from the bird in this pulsating wave. And in the first instance, that did nothing. Now in the second instance, you're going to get the success that you're looking for. Note that has cost you 2 of its 3 energy now. So
Yeah.
Just to make that point. Technically,
So-
you can't. It is still the you can't roll twice thing, but I assume, but it's a different roll, so that's fine. However, in the interim between those 2 moments, there's the red wave, as it were, that red pulsating. The cadence changes. It suddenly turns into this sort of spectrum flash in all of your visors. It's befuddling you and confusing you. And not only is it confusing you, but you can feel this sort of pressure in your heads as you're exposed to sort of this dissonance wave that's literally affecting your brain chemistry. Can I get everyone to make empathy rolls, please, to mitigate the effect of the 1 point of despair that the monster is applying to you?
Empathy.
Empathy. Yes? No? Yes?
Yeah.
Ashmira having a
Yeah.
rough day.
No.
No.
Okay. If you failed, please remove 1 point of hope from your sheet. As you feel this kind of overwhelming, sort of draining effect. Right. At that point, though, the bird, right after that, the bird sort of gets its mojo on, and you see the blue light sort of wave over the red, turning into a beautiful shade of green for a second, and then oh, sorry, it's not green. What fucking color is blue and red? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Purple. This beautiful purple wave, and then the red light is suppressed. It's not completely gone. You can still see the sort of the light running down the conduits. In some ways, it makes it easier to track, though. Like you've actually stripped out all of the radiation, and it's just now straight red lines leading to the center point, telling you exactly where the cyst is. And you can see this pulsating little orb, sort of. It's a kind of fungal metallic growth on the inside. It's kind of pulsating in the way that the things are, and it's just sort of there. Can I get actions, please, as you decide what you want to do about said cyst? To be clear, this will be combat, so the cyst is going to resist.
So
Okay.
I was thinking using my welding torch from my tools, but maybe that's not possible.
It's absolutely possible. You can use your welding torch as a weapon. Still the greatest melee weapon of all time.
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
100%.
Alien.
I will use analyze, my talent, which
Yep.
gives a bonus of 2 dice. You or another explorer in the same zone get +2 base dice for 1 attack on a specific enemy. So you get 2
Perfect.
dice.
So you are literally going, it's attached there, or words to that effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so you're doing analyze. Ashmira, you've pulled out the welding torch and lit it up.
Yep.
I've got the right answer
Down
for
with
this
my
problem.
visor.
Yep, downing the visor. Don't forget,
Oh,
people,
yeah.
OH&S safety. Keep those eyes shielded from the welding torch.
Nah.
Very important.
All you need is safety squints.
Yes. Don't listen to him. Ashmira knows what they're doing. All right. So
No.
what about you, Attila? What are you doing?
Well, I mean, I've got a pickaxe, a shape charge, or a pistol. Now, shape charge probably isn't the best idea here.
Last resort.
You're
You
on
know-
the inner side of the outer hull.
Yeah,
Blowing
exactly.
a hole through the
Not-
hull does feel
Not the best idea.
no.
No.
Oh, that was a really short game, guys. I'm pleased we got together to play that. Anyway,
I think I may use a live pistol would be to shoot it would be agility, to hit it with my pickaxe would be strength, correct?
absolutely, you've nailed it in one.
So I'm gonna see if the blowtorch or the welding torch thing works. If not, I'm gonna smack it with a pick.
Okay, so are you running up with him to be ready to smack it with a pick, or are you standing over here
Yeah,
waiting to see if the welding torch works?
I'm gonna let Asmira do their thing first, and then I'm gonna go from there if it doesn't work.
So you're standing back and letting a Smira go by themselves to the cyst.
No, not
With me,
by
with
themselves.
me,
I'm walking
with
up,
me.
but letting a spirit do their thing
Right,
first.
okay, all right. So you are going with them with the pickaxe. You're ready to swing
Yeah.
it. Okay, Jacina, what are you doing? Matt?
Matthew?
So yeah, I'm not used to my name yet. I'm standing back, keeping watch. I think this isn't what I do. I'm the scout. I'm not the muscle.
Okay.
I can scan for further blight. I can.
The bird can actually block a blight attack, by the way. That is actually one of its abilities.
Is that soak blight?
Yeah.
Is that a
Oh
reaction?
no, defend. Okay, well I will I will prime Turek to fly over the heads of the combatants, ready to block, and I'll make that roll if required.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Can I get everyone, please, to make a... I've just realized I foolishly took the D10 out thinking I wouldn't need it, and now I do. Fucking...
D10? What's a D10? What
Uh,
sort of crazy game is this?
Yeah.
well, for initiative. For initiative. Because I don't think I
Cards,
have
mate.
initiative.
Cards.
Oh, I do
mate.
have initiative. Number one. Deal. Does that work? Did everyone get a card? I don't know if anyone got a card.
Nope.
I don't see one.
Nope. Usually
No.
it shows up in the combat encounter track.
No. Okay. All right. Oh, maybe I need to add you to the combat. Okay, that might help. Let's see if I can do that. I'm just going to try and drag your icons onto this map. That won't necessarily make a lot of sense, but let's do it anyway.
Ooh.
There's our blight cyst.
It does look
Ashmere.
like a cyst.
It does.
Sorry about the lighting.
No,
I
that's
had
very
that
cool.
set up for a
Very
different...
cool.
I have that set up for later.
There's a later?
There's a later.
Well,
What?
as long as Attila doesn't put a shape charge on the outer hull.
Hold on.
I'm not going to be doing that. Don't worry.
Oh, I haven't pulled out Attila, have I? No, that's what I'm missing. All right, so now if I add you to combat, I'll just try this. Remembering this is a sort of built off the quick start environment, this may or may not work. Let's try it though. Oh yeah. Draw initiative.
Ooh, there we go.
I accidentally pulled the wrong person across. That was not my intention. Oh, God. Except it gets 2.
If you look in your combat encounters, it organizes it in the appropriate.
No, it has. I've just realized I need a second one for the little guy.
That's for the kids at home.
Draw another card. Oh, I can do that. Okay. It's moving on 2 and 9. Awesome. Okay, that all works. That's pretty good. All right. So, Pete, Attila. You can see it pulsating. It's doing something. You don't know what yet because I haven't rolled yet, but it's doing something. It's revving up. Do you want to?
Okay.
Smira is with you, but you've got first swing, as it were.
I've got first swing.
Yeah.
I was gonna wait until a Smira
You can wait for a Smira. That's absolutely fine.
burned it a little bit, but I do also feel like we just need to deal with it and move on.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna just swing the pickaxe into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe we should add that we have tethered ourselves to the hull so we won't fly away if something happens.
I got 1 success.
Damage 1. All right. That's right. You have to tick there. Okay, perfect. So
With
you
the-
swing this blow, and it kind of bounces off it. Like it's done some damage. Don't get me wrong. You've scarred it, but it's obviously going to take a bit of removing, for want of better language. It's quite quite tough. All right, so you do that, but what happens is it then does something in response to that, which is perfect. Okay, you've unleashed this glowing. This would be the perfect time, Jacina, for you to get the bird to absorb blight, because they've actually activated its sort of, and it's sort of starting to build up this surge of energy, which it's clearly going to release.
Okay. I will roll my insight, right? Or empathy. Insight.
Yeah, so I think, to be fair, I need to roll to see whether I actually do anything. No. Okay, all right. So no, as it turns out, you don't have to do anything at this point because I failed to launch. Because the way I'm reading that ability from the bird is it's a reaction. So you only need to roll it if I'm successful,
Right.
which I am not in this particular case. I will point out, though, the way this works is it's got a base damage of 1, so it gets 1 for 1 success. Obviously, it can cause more than 1 blight if it gets more than 1 success. So it is actually quite nasty. All right, so on that note, then we are back to the combat run, and the next person. Oh well, Matthew, you're. Do you want to hold the bird
Yeah,
still?
I'm holding. I'm on Overwatch.
Okay, John, Ashmira.
Yeah, I
Bernie
use my heavy
Bernies.
tools.
Yeah.
Can I use agility or strength?
No,
Or-
you're attacking it. This is an attack, so you're using the
Okay.
pickaxe as a weapon.
Okay.
Sorry, you're using the
tools.
the tools as a weapon.
The
You've got
torch.
the flaming torch. Actually, I think I've
But-
got a flaming torch in weapons. I can drop that on your sheet if it's not there at the moment.
Yeah, do that.
I can. I know I can. Other close combat weapons. Oh no, that's not it. God, is it improvised? Oh, it is. Yeah. Flamer. There you go. Cutting torch. Ha! Ha! They said.
Perfect.
That's exactly what we were looking for. I need Ashmira's character sheet up. And then I need my cutting torch. And I have dropped said cutting torch on your sheet. And then I will equip said
Yeah,
cutting
so
torch.
gear, equip it. Yep.
And now you can roll your cutting torch, which is exactly like it is in Alien. One of the most deadly melee weapons you can have. Damage 3, 2 bonus dice. It's supercharged.
Could I use Aesop's
2.
bonus?
Yes, it's Aesop's choice, but I assume that was the plan.
Absolutely. Yep.
So yes, you can take the additional 2 bonus die on top of the cutting torches, 2 bonus die. Roll strength, please. Oh, two successes. Ow. Okay, technically it doesn't take crits per se. So that's lucky for the blight cyst. However, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gee whiz. Okay, you've cut almost all the way through it. So you can see it's still sort of hanging there, badly damaged, but it is not destroyed yet. And I think it's its turn now because it gets 2. Oh, and Doug.
Almost there. Almost there.
Now, my turn is not using the analyze, right?
What does it say in the talent description?
In the description, it says you or another explorer in the same zone get a +2 base dice.
No, it doesn't use it. If you can use it and get a +2, then I'm not going to rule it as an actual task or activity.
Okay, so, well, I guess when I look at my gear, I think I might use my exquisite clothing or my makeup. I mean, I think makeup might help, but probably it's the pistol. So
right,
I'm
the fusillade pistol.
I'm gonna shoot at
Bring
it.
your cleaning mop.
Now, I will just make the point,
Maybe
which
I
always
brought my
needs to be
cleaning mop.
made, that you have a fusillade pistol, which is brilliant, awesome, love it. It's this big, heavy-duty sort of revolver-y looking thing. It works perfectly fine in this lack of atmosphere. All good. There are 2 people standing around the blight cyst hammering at it with melee equipment right now. It's a toss-up between whether that's melee weapons or melee equipment, but either way, they're gathered around the cyst trying to chunk it off. If you fire the weapon and miss, potential consequences do exist.
No, I didn't take my mop.
Okay, and you get a hit, which is... Okay, that's good. All right, so there's this, you two are like standing there hammering away at this thing, trying to lever it out, and suddenly there's this bang sound from behind you, and, you know, this bullet comes flying between the two of you, smashes into the center mass of the cyst, and the cyst is sort of burst apart from the fusillade round, and sort of scattered into the atmosphere, into the vacuum, and bits of it are now sort of floating away, into the sort of middle zone. It's definitively destroyed, and it's got this kind of little bits of it are sort of winking out, like there's this sort of dull red glow that's slowly going down as you've sort of damaged it. However, you are experienced enough to know that there's always a risk that the blight will sort of spread from zones. So best usual protocol in this situation, once again noting in the ruins, blights everywhere, so there's no point. But here, there is definitively a point. Best practice is to gather up all the bits of the blight into a baggie and get rid of them.
Can my bird with an opposable thumb, with two opposable thumbs indeed, can that fly around gathering up the bits of blight?
It actually can. I will accept
And
that as a
then
completely valid maneuver.
May I dispose of the blight? I'm definitely not going to try and turn it into orchid dust myself.
Well, I mean, it's not an orchid, but if orchids can be turned into dust, who knows what else could be turned into dust? This is a whole new area.
Exactly.
This is a whole new area of chemical exploration.
Let's
Oh my God! You don't want to turn blight into a drug. Pure blight.
No,
This is
definitely
this is
not.
exactly what the game was meant for.
Yes, I'm thinking.
I'm just.
Do you want
just an
zombies?
entrepreneur,
Because
that's
this is how you get zombies.
I'm merely an entrepreneur.
Okay, so what do you want to do, guys? This is not
Okay,
my call.
may I?
Who was it that called it a baggie? I'm looking at you, Thomas. You put the idea into his head.
Yeah. I just want.
It's already my
That's fair.
profession.
I'll wear that. Wasn't my
Okay, so-
intention in my defense, but I'll wear the accusation.
Since we're playing may I record, may I have like maybe on my suit or something like that, kind of like a little video recorder, so that we can prove that we've gotten rid of this blight? Or is
Sure.
that
You've only
okay.
got, you don't have like hours of footage storage,
No.
right?
No, it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to shoot. Let's press play.
Okay, all right, okay. Yes.
Because it would
Yes,
be
I'll
all about
definitely
me,
allow that.
right? It would have to be
It
Don't
would.
about me.
press
It would.
play, Iosop. Press record.
Oh,
So
that's
you've
right.
actually got that, you know, when you, I don't do this, but you know, when you're doing the streaming thing and there's the picture of the person who's playing the game, and then there's actually the game and the person's head is in the corner. So explicitly, there's a camera pointing at your face, which has got your face looking confident.
Slightly fishbowled in the helmet.
Yeah. And overlaid over the, you know, the scene of in front of you of the two people hammering away and the bullet bursting it apart and you looking very
smug.
very smug. Well, no, very commanding, I think is the word you're looking for, Eosop.
Thank you.
You know, because you can doctor video as well as the next guy. So, you know, The reason you can only store a couple of minutes is because actually most of the processing power of your little
It's
mini computer
filters.
is filtering it to make you look better than you actually do, I would imagine. And there's
Put
a bit
on
of a Halo scene.
put on
Um,
extra makeup and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually think you've got a filter on that puts a halo around you, because normally the camera is working with you as a person, not with you as a suit. So it looks a little weird because your suit is kind of auraed, but all good.
I could
But you
be the
don't record the
mysterious
bird
icon. Who
collecting up.
knows?
Do you record the bird collecting up the blight cyst material?
Just for a couple of seconds, and then I turn it off. I
Okay.
don't want to waste power.
Proof given. We
Yeah.
collected it all.
Yeah.
All right.
And
So,
I
what do you wanna do?
document and try to find the damage and maybe fix as much as I can.
okay. The cyst didn't do very much damage. It made itself part of the conduit system. It explicitly actually tries to take over the conduit system, so that it can do bad things to the minds of people. But you've stopped that from happening. All right. So last question: what do you do with the cyst remnant? Because Attila's making a hard play for, as members of the Black Toad, we should be looking for every additional financial opportunity we can. Argument. I think I'm paraphrasing.
And that's exactly the argument I was going for, except it should be to my financial gain, not to anyone else's.
Well, sure, but I mean, you probably you're probably used to managing that internal monologue against the external monologue moment. Internally it's all about you. Externally it's all about the team.
In my head, it's all about me.
It's all about the team.
Welcome,
as a team.
of course.
welcome to Coriolis,
Yes.
the great Breaking Bad.
You are a bunch of drug runners. I'm just gonna.
I need an RV.
Just you have an RV. It's your shuttle.
It's our shuttle.
Yeah.
The circus.
Right. So
We're
what do
going
you
to
want to
the
do, guys?
Asmir is very skeptical to keeping, but Attila is the captain and he is the commanding officer, so she do as he says, of course.
Yeah, I think we should collect this up. I should have a little play with it with me chemical kit or and see what
What
drugs I
could
can
go
make out of it.
wrong? Sure.
It's mind altering drugs.
It's mind altering
Okay,
drugs. I'm all for that
so
shit.
to be clear, you take the blight cyst material and you smuggle it back into the ship and you put it in your shuttle and you are now running experiments on it. I just want to make sure I've understood exactly what is happening.
I want to make sure that Thomas
When a GM
understands.
says that, we're in the shit, guys.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
first on the first session,
think-
the first session, it was very explicitly stated that if blight is brought around, you are just, there's no trial. You're just sent into the vacuum of space without a suit. Bye-bye. So
That's true, but equally for the
But
last
the-
6 months, you've literally been shipping blight into the ship city.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's a bit of A and B.
And you're right, actually, that is very processed blight, effectively, from those orchids. If
It
we can
is.
do it to the orchids, we can do it to whatever.
Exactly. Yes. See,
I think
there
Flip-
you go. I'm
Pete's
assuming
got it.
there is a place where we can safely store it on the ship without it sort
On
of
your shuttle.
on the shuttle.
Okay, just checking because they're two different places and have different consequences. All right, yes, you have storage facilities that are used for carrying the orchid dust. Like, don't forget, you don't actually travel around with raw blight. To the
yeah,
point made by
that's
Jacina, you travel around with processed blight. It's processed at the location you've been traveling to, and you ship it back. But that's cool.
Yeah.
But Attila, I wanna endorse your go-to attitude and your entrepreneurial spirit.
I don't want to endorse it anymore.
We've gone from bureaucracy to entrepreneurship. What's next? The
Exactly.
play.
I remember when I did Business Management 101 at university 25 years ago, there was something about, different styles of management hierarchy. Bureaucracy actually got a good rap, but I do live in a city that's literally built around government, so that's probably not a big surprise. Funnily enough, invented by a German to make things more efficient. Okay, for real. Bureaucracy was seen as an enhancement in the 1880s, I think it was.
But just to be clear, I have put it in the orchid dust.
Of course, in your storage that's very
To try-
solid, and you've never had a breakout of blight from the orchid dust in the orchid dust storage thing.
Oh, it's going to be a problem, I can tell. Never mind.
My other players have made comments about my specific use of language in certain circumstances. They've become quite attuned to certain words that I use. As it turns out, I was literally told this a couple of weeks ago. Oh, hold on. You just use that word. Oh, is that a special word? Yes, which means we're not doing that. We're going to do something else.
Well,
That was cruel.
It's like a tell.
we're
It's
fucking
like a
around.
tell.
We'll find out eventually.
Yeah.
All right. So we're approaching the end of the time. The ship travels further into the dark. I think I have more encounters, but I've decided I don't intend to use them. I think we've explored this enough. So for the next few weeks, the the great ship travels through the darkness into. Oh, sorry, I need to close a few windows so I can see exactly what I'm talking about.
Matt, your microphone's not working again.
Do I no longer have a congregation?
So that's actually, you know what? That's a good point. Let's
Let's
not
roll on
accelerate
that.
it because I'd forgotten the whole congregation story in thing. So it's week 5 now, and the congregation. There's Justina, the congregants did go to their prayer zone, and some of them took off their helmets and almost died.
Almost died.
Almost died. No one died.
They weren't all entirely naked but for their robes.
No, they took off their helmets. They crossed the vacuum because they had to cross a vacuum, so
Yeah.
they were wearing suits. They took off their helmets when they got to the other side, took a deep breath and realized there was no deep breath to take, jammed their helmets back on quickly, and are now sort of looking around the ship for which heretic sabotaged their religious space, because clearly, and Justina, this is their message to you. It's very clear to them now that there are people who reject the Coriolite faith, and importantly,
Unbelievers.
The sleeping icon on the ship, and we need to ferret them out.
I shall do some investigation.
Awesome. Okay, so on that note, we will not be jumping straight into the ruin. So week 3, we've not made it to the ruin yet. So that's good. It is good, actually.
I am very much enjoying it.
I'm
though,
really
so
enjoying it. Yeah.
And so take that, all the people who said that Coriolis the Great Dark was only about delving.
I will admit I was skeptical before playing, but yeah.
I think so the ship sails into the darkness. It's the start of week 5. You've got another sort of 3 or 4 weeks to go. Things are getting a bit desperate, like supplies have been run down by the people using up the oxygen that they shouldn't have been using. You've now got the requisition form, so you can finally go and get the parts to repair the communications array, which is not working. So once again, the ship can't communicate externally at this point. It has no way of talking to anyone else. You're alone in the dark, and various factions of the crew and the broader community on the ship are now starting to look at each other with deep suspicion as they become convinced that everyone is betraying everyone. And at the center of it is a small group, Attila's Circus, who've been very effectively egging all of that on.
No, I just want to point out we have purely done what we were told to do. We have fixed stuff, found stuff,
Yeah.
greased the wheels of bureaucracy to make it work.
Kept stuff.
This
Everything
ship
we've
is
done.
better for us being here than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah, everything
I
we've done,
agree. I
we've
couldn't
done for the
agree more.
ship.
Everything we've done for the ship. Do we
Everything we do for you,
yes.
fellow
Do we
crewmates.
go to the captain and prove ourselves to be these
No.
amazing people?
The captain's up there, and remember when we went to the tables, and the
Yeah.
captain was at that end of the table,
Yeah.
and we were at that end of the table,
Hmm.
and you
We moved
tried
up a
your
bit.
best to get up the table.
Hmm.
Yeah, we
Well,
don't
you're quite-
go to the
Precisely.
captain.
No, we use our documentation if you have to, but else it's
We may
best
get
not to be
dragged
noticed.
before the captain, but that's an entirely different.
It's an
Yeah.
entirely different scene.
Actually,
Just try don't to be
we
noticed.
fixed the problem about a week before it actually would have been addressed with the ticket. Because it was a
Yeah.
4-week ticket, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we fixed it like late in week 3, as I recall.
Yeah, but you got there. I mean, that was
Yeah,
good.
we did, yeah.
No, actually, hold on. Sort of the end of week 2. merging
Okay, the
into
end of
week
week
3. I
2.
think, I feel, you
So
halve the
we're a week
response
early.
time.
We're a week early, so you know what?
We can cancel that ticket.
Well, except the
maybe
comms
I'm
array is
just-
still
I can go
down. You
through
might
it
want to
myself.
keep the
Yeah.
ticket.
We
with the
have to
comms
fix
array.
the comms array, yeah.
Matter of fact, technically,
Yeah.
the ticket was about the comms array as much as it was about the blight. So the
Mm.
comms array is still
Yeah,
there.
well, we've sorted half of it.
Well, I go down.
Yeah.
I'm going to go down and show the video to the what do they call it? The guy in charge of the gear.
Oh, the storesman.
Yes, I'm going to go down to the stores and I'm going to show them the video and say, "See, this is what was urgent. We fixed it. Now you can move that ticket along, possibly."
Oh no! If you tell them that, they go great and cancel the ticket. We
Oh.
fixed it. Awesome. I'll just cancel that ticket. That's great. Thanks.
yeah, and I don't care. I just go back. I feel that I've accomplished myself in some way.
That's right. You're so look. Congratulations. Good work. That's fantastic. Can I have a copy of the video? Because I'm really sort of impressed by the bird, but also by like how good a shot you are. I mean, there are these two guys hammering away at this thing, and you just put that bullet straight through the middle. You must take extra training for that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to try to up my renown with him and
Sure.
I'm definitely I just get an extra reroll if I
No, that's good. That's
I'm gonna
good.
try.
And
No,
you're gonna
I'm gonna push that. This is a
Oh,
basket.
okay. All right. This is where
I hate this man with all of my life and breath. I am going to write the most scathing poems about him. He will go down in history as being a total jerk.
I kind of love the idea that he genuinely is impressed by everything you've done. He just doesn't care. It's like
He
my only
sounds
role-
like me in real life.
well, no, it's just that
Work.
it's the classic line from Galaxy Quest. I have one job, which is I decide whether your requisition form gets filled in, and that is the one thing I do, and you can get stuffed if you think I'm going to give you any freebies in that space. I have one
Again,
job.
that sounds like me IRL at work.
Nice. I'm not going to tell.
I like this guy.
All right, so we'll stop there, but I just want to do a quick run around. I mean, everyone's obviously having a good time, but just to confirm, reflections. I think reflections, we've now done a creation session and we've run 2 sessions. We're nowhere near a delve yet, but 2 sessions of the game so far. Starting off with John, just because John's usually very quiet, and so I can make him feel deeply uncomfortable by making him answer questions. To be fair, John, I understand you're probably mentally converting everything we're saying in language, so I don't mean
Yes,
to be rude.
that's the big problem. Well,
Yeah.
I think it was really fun. I think the system works. It's hard to succeed, but we have to push everything to succeed. But, well, it's a certain feeling about that too.
He pulls out his Vaesen rules. Why have you pulled out your Vaesen rules? Anyway. Matt, as our podcast opinionated person.
I'm dealing with one question with this great ship. We're playing this as a one-off, right?
Yeah.
You know, so we may never come back to these characters again.
Yeah.
But there's a thing here where you're talking about us building up a relationship with these other crew members and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you see a campaign being on the same great ship, or do we, when we want to go somewhere else, do we catch another great ship to another different place and don't know the crew here? You talked about, did I harbor leadership aspirations for the congregation, the congregants of the, and would there be time to develop that over time? Were we carrying on or not? Do you think
I think the great ships, in my imagination, the great ships as opposed to I think they're called the cruisers.
Ship City.
No, the smaller Slipstream ships. So there's 2 sets of Slipstream ships. There's the great ships and there's the smaller ones, which I think are called the cruisers or something like that. I kind of imagine the great ships are effectively just traveling down routes, unless they're tasked to do a specific exploration, which is a characteristic. So some of the ships that were lost explicitly while doing exploring into the dark and finding things for the first instance. But it would make a lot of sense for them to just be doing the standard, this ship travels the Dessaram channel all the way through to Shabua and then comes back around and then does that route on a regular basis. So I think the answer is yes, in a campaign, there are 2 circumstances in which you would be regularly on the same ship. The first of those is where the ship is actually just an exploration vessel, trying for some particular purpose. So it's been tasked to a particular purpose. So then you have a really long-term relationship. And then I think the second result is I would limit the number of actual great ships in use and try and sort of have maybe just 3, because if you come out of Jaruma, you could actually imagine a scenario where one ship's doing that really big run around the Hammurabi Arm, one's doing the Ordana Arm, and the third one's doing I can't see the map properly, the Zenobia Arm. And so you're traveling along those. So that would mean you would have the characteristic. I think you would give a personality to each great ship, like what's the tension in each ship, and you'd put that on each arm. And as the players go down ruins, they'd experience that tension. And it'd be good actually, because then you'd disappear for an adventure effectively, or equivalent of, and then you'd be back on the ship. And if the GM had decided to, that tension would have changed, right? Like, or moved on, or grown, or shrunk, or whatever. So, for instance, in this particular case, that story of the sleeping icons could turn into a whole sort of thing where the ship slowly gets taken over by these fanatics from the sleeping icon and actually becomes a genuine problem because they're coming back to the great,
No, it's not a problem.
It would be a problem if there was a whole
problem for
conspiracy to wake up the sleeper.
Well, yeah, that would be a problem.
If they were coming back as a whole crew, having become convinced that the way to save the ship city is to wake the sleeping icon, and you got on the ship, and because you'd had previous relationships, you found out on the trip back that there was a whole plan to sort of break into the Great Council Chamber and awaken the sleeper, and you're going, I don't know what, I don't know the exact details, but to your point, there were false icons in the Lost Horizon, in the Third Horizon, and we know that that led to great disruption and destruction. Maybe I'm not a fan. And so that could become a whole adventure, right? Like off the back of that, as an example. Like that's
Yeah.
an example. And in my mind, the smaller ships are probably much more likely to be the exploratory ships. I may be misstating because they're also less robust, but logically, they're smaller, they travel less far, or they're more dedicated to single crews doing a single job. Anyway, that's my perspective. Don't know if it matters, but that's how I'd see it. Pete.
I'm enjoying this a lot more than I thought I would. I was fairly skeptical of the talents and talents and no
No skills
thing, but I actually feel it works with the setting quite well, because my understanding is it's quite a lot darker than the Third Horizon, and I feel like in darker settings it does need to be a little bit harder when you start out to succeed. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Cool. And just to pick on that for a second, do you think that's because of the constitution of the group and the rules are sort of secondary? And I'm asking this as a genuine question. Or are the rules working better than you expected? Do you know what I mean? Like, because I think you've got a pretty cool group. Like the group itself is pretty cool. So as in the backstory of the group and those things are a generator for a lot of role-playing opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both. I feel like the rules are stronger than I thought they would be. And also we've got a great group of players and, you know, a great GM who's enthusiastic about the game.
Cool. It's a good answer. And then finally, Doug.
Yes.
Yeah, I pulled out Douglas. Tom, thanks. And I guess, I mean, I pulled out Vaesen rules because for me, Vaesen is, to me, the quintessential Year Zero engine game. It's the one that I go to. It's the one that I think about the most. And so I was looking at the attributes and skills and doing a numerical comparison to my own character. So I'm comparing Samuel Smith, the evil Samuel Smith who killed children without care, unfortunately. But he had a reason.
Yeah, him. I remember.
Yeah, him from Harlem. And I'm looking at physique was 2, close combat 2, logic was 5, but then I had investigation with 3 and vigilance with 2, and then precision and empathy were both 3 with a couple of bonuses. So say about 6 dice. The maximum dice I had was I was rolling logic investigation at 8. Now, I think given that this is a starting character, with the numbers that we have, I mean, we already have the opportunity of insight and perception that have ramped up and give us more opportunity for role playing. We're not relying on, as a group, we certainly haven't relied on min-maxing. So that's, I think, awesome because it shows the weakness of characters that were maybe rolled randomly and just thrown in because we really didn't combine our strengths to strengths. So I think, given all of that, I am really enjoying it. I think that the rules work. I don't think that it's more difficult. I think that it's slightly more difficult and, as Pete said, appropriate. Like Matt, I mean, I I would love to look forward to a connection between this and maybe something further, because I really genuinely am enjoying this. Um, it's interesting to see for me the connections between, say, things like analyze and being able to give those 2 dice, which probably made a difference for Ashmira. It's much more of a group dynamic, whereas Vaesen, even though it is supposed to be a group dynamic, you are still individuals in the task of investigation, whereas here the investigation is very much a group exercise. And so all of what I have really enables the group. It's not something that's particularly selfish. So I like where it's going. I think the beta rules are probably exactly what we're going to get, and I'm very shocked that I like it as much as I do.
Cool. Okay, that's really good. No, I just thought it'd be interesting to get people's perspective. The only comment I'll make is, and I sort of made it when I did the first read through of the beta rules. I think I made exactly this comment. Definitively, this is a game that provides a superstructure for adventure, not a specific answer to adventure. And I guess what I mean by that is you roll these random tables for encounters. I did roll them in advance. That was explicitly the right decision. I would say the same thing about the delve. And then the GM needs to kind of craft around that what that story is going to look like. Like, it doesn't come out of the book. I think if you were to rely on the journey rules as written, the delves are a bit different because they're dropping, like for instance, in this delve, there's specific encounters that are called out for the delve. So with a lot more narrative text than is in the core rules for rolling. So they've gone to the trouble of saying, let's make some unique stuff. I'd still, however, read ahead and come up with a whole circular, structure around it. Particularly if you want something that is, and the logic of all of that is, one, based on running the One Ring for 2.5 years, the travel journey model is good. But if you're using it raw, i.e. rolling it at the time of the encounter, it becomes super samey very quickly. Like, the players are like, oh, it's a hunting roll. You need to make this effect if you fail it. And it just becomes massively mechanical, or the GM is constantly on the hoof to come up with a big narrative description in the second that you make the dice roll, which is bloody hard. And it's really hard if you're doing it 6 or 7 times in a row before the characters have gotten to the actual adventure site. And I think for Coriolis, the Great Dark, it's got exactly the same challenge for the great ships, in that there's just a random set of encounters. There's a lot more of them, so that's good. But equally, you would find yourselves sort of trying to magic up the entire narrative every second. That's just too hard, I think. Which I didn't do, and I think has worked really well, to be transparent. Obviously, I've responded to the changes that you guys have made, like the things that you guys have done has directly influenced what I would have done. It's accelerated some things, it's slowed some things down, it's made different reasons for things. But for instance, as an example, there's explicitly, one of the encounters I rolled was all about the ship's crew becoming distrustful of each other. And when I rolled it, I originally based it on you guys not finding the cyst very quickly. So it was the cyst's effect affecting the crew, and nightmares and other things would be affecting them. But you dealt with the cyst, but you also created the scenario around cutting off the oxygen and the other things, which means the thing that's driving the disruption in the crew now is the fact that all the factions in the crew don't trust each other anymore because they think that they're all backstabbing each other, when in reality, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But irrespective, that's changed the tenor of that encounter. But I had the structure. I knew that I wanted to do something around that, and I'm just, I've gone a slightly different direction for it. So I think that's my big reflection, is it just requires GMs to lean in a bit on that thinking.
A little bit further on that is, because you're pre-prepared and you've got a mental idea about the shape of the ship, what it looks like. You've pre-rolled, you've prepared, and then of course in any role-playing game you've got to think on your feet anyway. But there's that dynamic that feels like this is a living ship with people moving around, things happening. We're not just isolated. What we do will affect everything else. So Ashmira turning off the oxygen, that was excellent because it, as you said, it fed into the story in general. And now what it's doing is it's making what is essentially a few shot adventure into a slightly longer adventure, almost with the possibility of a campaign, as we as players are stretching out the narrative.
Yeah, I agree completely.
So that makes it great. The other observation is the implementation of the Foundry module is very, very good. I think that it's excellent. I'm really impressed with it. I like the color design. I like the dark background. I like the way that it just looks and feels. It's been very good.
Yeah,
No D10s though, but
no, but that's because I took them out, not because they weren't there. But the comment to make is this: the one limitation on the Foundry module, which is not a criticism because it's just a statement, is that because it was built around the quick start rules, not around the beta rules, it actually doesn't support certain things. So there are certain things that are just not in the Foundry modules. So there are workarounds that I've had to apply. It does not seem to randomly roll the attacks in the way that, say, the other Foundry modules do, where it actually rolls the attack and then rolls the event that follows the attack choice. At least not that I can work out. But it's excellent. I agree completely. I think it's actually a really nice implementation. It's very clean, which is always lovely. Considering I'm dealing with the Cthulhu module at the moment, which now feels vastly, to be transparent, it just feels vastly overcomplicated. Like they've actually made it hard to navigate. I know why they're doing it, because it's Cthulhu and you've got 1,000 things, but man, it's actually hard to navigate. All right, cool. Excellent. So probably try and run at least one more session on the Great Ship. Looks like that's what it's going to be. And so that's actually a key point, right? So by the time we finish the Great Ship, we'll have done Great Ship adventuring for at least 5.5 hours of playtime before we got to the Delve, which might actually run faster than the ship because the Delve isn't massively about people. So the really interesting thing is all of the people action is happening mostly, not completely, I should make that point, outside of the Delve.
But that's Coriolis.
The Delve.
I mean, that to me is what attracted me to Coriolis as a world, or whatever, as a system, a game, whatever. The universe is that aspect of it. So I think that in that way, it's captured it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, cool. As long as we're having fun. I'll probably see. I don't know what people's timings are like. I'll try and run one more session next weekend.
I'm good.
And we'll see how that goes. I'll put it up on the share and people can talk about availabilities and other things once we've done that.
Yeah.
On that note, then. See you
Bye.
guys.